Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this special edition of the American Huddle. We're previewing bowl games here in the ADN studio. I'm Haley Outen alongside Andy Gresh. Today's bowl preview brings you the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl featuring Temple and FIU. Andy, the Owls, this is their first year playing for head coach Jeff Collins, and their offense has struggled to find some consistency, but it seems like they've settled in on a quarterback in Frank Newtile, and it will be interesting to see what their offense can do in this game.
Yeah, Haley, I think it was a big year of transition under Jeff Collins for Temple. He's a defensive-minded head coach, so he's going to start to put his principles in place. And you mentioned offensively, look, they ran the gamut trying to find themselves a quarterback. And you mentioned Newtile, where it looks like they've really settled in on him. We've seen Temple at times really be a roller coaster ride this year, but I think when you finally settle in on a quarterback, and then you look at a lot of the turnover on that football team as well, a lot of really talented guys have walked out the door for Temple over the past 2 years. So I think this is a big win for Jeff Collins this year in that they made a bowl game and they keep the momentum going. And let's see if Newtile is the guy long term.
You mentioned a lot of loss the past couple of seasons, some really talented players on their roster, and some of them moving on to the NFL. I mean, Tyler Matakevich, Hassan Reddick, quite a big list of those Temple players, and Jeff Collins being a defensive-minded guy. How do you think he's approached this year trying to make this defense his own?
Boy, it's tough because you may not have recruited perfectly at certain position groups to do what you want. Do they have enough defensive linemen? Here's just to go inside for a second, right? Do I have a penetrating defensive lineman in between the tackles? Do I have pass rushers that I know that are going to be long and lean that can play the option? Do I have a linebacker that I can put in the middle of my defense, leave them there, and then have guys that can cover and can run? Those are questions that only Jeff Collins can answer. And a lot of it, Haley, because of the limited practice time that you now have in camp, you've got to go trial and error in some games. So I do think there was some of that going on as well. But look, Florida International is great offensively in the red zone. And the biggest thing Jeff Collins has got to get his team ready for is to make sure that they don't score touchdowns every time. Hold them to some field goals. Give their offense a chance to possess it a little bit and to be able to counterpunch. But FIU is no joke. I know a couple weeks ago I was like, yeah, whatever. You know what? They can score. And that's the biggest thing. Temple has either got to find a way to slow them down or they got to find a way to keep up, and it's going to be difficult.
FIU has faced a couple of teams in the American this year. They started off a tough start against UCF earlier in the season, and then they came up with a win over Tulane a little bit later in the year. But Andy, for Temple to win this game, they're going to have to stop FIU in the red zone, and they have some pretty good running backs on their side.
They do. They got 3 running backs who carried the ball at least 70 times this season, and they've combined for over 1,600 yards and 15 touchdowns. So they bring it to you in ways which puts extra stress on Jeff Collins' defense.
All right, well, there you have it. There's your preview of the Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl kicking off on December 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.